I think the funniest thing is when people in Crack Brain are just kind of like, I'm like, oh, Stefan probably wants us to do this. And they're like, how do you know? Like, I'm going to message Stefan, make sure that's what he wants. I'm like, I know what Stefan's thinking. Like, we share a hive mind. I can figure this shit out.
Right. Okay. Microphones are now going.
Microphones are hot.
Yes, so now you guys should be able to hear us through YouTube. So, yeah, and so that you haven't been on since I've been doing this.
No, this is my first time being on the live stream other than at Lvl Up.
Okay.
Which didn't really live stream well.
Right. So now you get the added bonus of that's where we're at. Mm-hmm. Like that's real time.
That's real time.
And then they show up like 10 seconds later.
Yeah.
And whatnot. So like when we're sitting there like, hey, we're responding in chat. It's like, and oh, you guys are okay. You guys are like 10 seconds ago. So
yeah, I'm just some anime girl.
Sorry. Yeah. So we're at least here. We're doing the damn thing. I can hear from the other headphones that we are still recording something. So
yeah.
I have no idea. Like you guys are gonna have to adjust your volume. Like I can do a little bit from over here, but it's a whole thing. So yeah, there's that. But so we're still not like officially started right now.
Wait for one more person, hopefully.
Yeah, we're waiting for our other one, but at the same time, like, so that way at least people that are watching the live stream can know, and those of you that are going to be watching later, we literally just got back from our event with Free Comic Book Day. So at the moment, it's like we literally ran inside the house. I had to go and let the dogs go to the bathroom, and then it just insanity. Mm-hmm. So at some point we will hit the record button, but like for now it's just like, okay, let's do the last minute as far as like what needs, like look, if you also need like a semi coaster, you can use this edge of the
okay. Yeah, because I'm trying really hard. Like, I'm doing the whole, like, pinky first thing when I'm setting my cup down, because I'm like, nobody wants to hear the cup.
Okay, this is why I love Ray. She's like, here, but no one's answering. It's like, Ray, just open up the door.
She's so polite, though. Like, don't change Ray. So, I am just going to talk to the audience for the whole brief 2 minutes until they're in here. But, yeah, she's so polite. Oh, my gosh. So me and Ray, both being the two artists at Crack Brain, are very, very different people. I do tend to try to make sure that it's okay to walk in, but at the same time, I am a bit outspoken, which is a nice way to say that I'm very rude. So she is polite, and you guys know Ray by now because she's done this more times than I have. I have been on the podcast before, but not live stream. I'm just talking, so it's not dead air.
Oh, but the dead air is the best.
But the dead air, yeah, the fans run in for the dead air. They're just like, they stopped talking. Let's watch.
Haven't you ever heard the podcast? Yeah.
People
want me to stop talking. It's like, for the love of God, make the dark thing stop. So yeah, okay, all right. I'm sitting down finally. Like I can. Yeah.
You say that.
Shut up! You're gonna. You saying that now kind of gives me a bit of anxiety as far as goddamn, now I can feel like I got to go do a thing. It's like you just saying that was like.
I told you we're a hive mind. I know.
No, we're not a hive mind. It's just the fact that like you say something and now my brain goes like, I should do that. Yeah. I should do that. So, okay.
Anxiety twins.
Stop doing that to me. I didn't ask you to do that.
I mean, you don't have to ask. I just know.
But can you not?
I cannot not.
My brain stopped with that sentence. I don't know what that means.
Hi.
That's a legitimate thing. Okay.
We're just gonna quadruple this negative here.
I can't not, but I you know what? I'm already confused. I'm already confused.
How many knots does it take to confuse Stefan? At least 2.
All of them. All of the knots.
All of the knots.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to see. This is the this is the one thing that I actually like about this setup and whatnot. So sometimes people say things, and we get to go like, we don't want that to show up in chat. So I could very well deny Brandon his little joke over here.
I can't even read what that joke is.
Yeah. So it's a thing. I'm going to allow it, Brandon. I'm going to allow it. Okay, just this one time. All right. So
you
there.
lucked out.
Yeah, there you go.
I wouldn't allow it.
Yeah, him and his I like your butt.
Oh.
And see, there we go.
Yeah.
He just did it again. And I can sit there and be like, shall I allow it?
Yeah, see, if I were in charge of the mouse, no. Brandon contributing to the conversation, no.
Candace.
That was one of the things that kind of worked at Level Up, though, was me being awful to Brandon. So I'm gonna
keep that going.
I mean, it sounds like a lot of work, but I'll try.
I'm just saying, not to be like anti anyone on the team or anything like that, but when have we not been that to Brandon?
I don't know what you're talking about. I've always been wonderful to Brandon and have never, ever made him feel unwelcome in any situations.
I'm just saying. So, yeah, I
Worms was the first time. I mean,
not wrong. Okay, and our most recent playthroughs, not wrong. Still not wrong.
Brandon is surprisingly good at Jump Force. I'll give him that.
Okay, like I said, Jump Force now needs to be kind of like our holy equalizer.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like, if you guys are watching whatnot, we've I think by the time this comes, so we've done 2 videos of Jump Force. One that we did over in Lvl Up, that one may or may not show up. The audio is kind of fuzzy.
Yeah.
But playing that game, everyone has their love-hate relationship. Like, there's definitely people on our team that do not like this game.
Yeah.
They really do not like this game. And then there's other people on this team that really love this game.
So I'm going to say straight up, I think the Brandon-Tyler pairing is a cursed pairing. Because every time they go up against each other, it's either not being recorded or the recording doesn't work.
Oh my God, you're right. You're so right.
And I want the official matchup between them to happen because Brandon is the only one that Tyler can even stand a chance against in Jump Force. And it's not because Brandon's bad at it, it's because like the way he plays, Tyler can follow. Okay. The rest of us, he can't. And then he gets frustrated. So. Yeah. Yeah. I actually have a harder time following Brandon's play style of Jump Force. I played against him today at Free Comic Book Day, and he beat me up. I didn't know how to do it.
Well, it's like, so, it is one of those things where, okay, you know what? Ray!
Ray! Now I just want everybody on the team to have their own way of screaming Ray.
Oh my God, we might have just discovered a new thing.
It's a 1-syllable name.
It is so great in that extent because it's really bad. It's really bad. Like, we shouldn't actually do this. But at the same time, I think we actually need to do this.
Welcome to the hive.
So, yeah, okay. All right, I'll allow it. Oh my God, having this power is not healthy for me. It really isn't. Like, I can still read everything going on in chat. It's like, yes.
I'm actually going to follow the chat on my phone a little bit, so if you guys see me looking down.
Well, that's you. Okay, so, like, the other thing, when people are actually watching, the podcast and whatnot, when you commonly see us, like, look down over at our phones and whatnot, we're literally looking at chat, so we want to try keeping it open for you guys as much as possible, and interactive, but sometimes, like, right over here where we have, like, our other screen and all that, I can see the text. I'm not sure if these other two can see the text.
Yeah, I cannot. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna have my phone out. Tyler, I mean, you could say whatever you want, but I mean, you're wrong. So
Not wrong.
yeah,
Not wrong. So
you are an American and you have your freedom of speech, but it doesn't mean that you're right.
I didn't say that much. I'm not saying what nationality or you be what you want to be, boo. You be what you want to be. There we go. Okay. I'm almost done with the thing.
I think one of my favorite moments today was Ray asking Brandon if he was Irish.
What did I miss? Okay, hold on.
I thought.
Hold on. Before we even do that, we will save that for the actual podcast and whatnot. No, we haven't started. And because as soon as we were getting ready to, you sent me the message as far as you being at the door but not coming in.
Wait, so we're not even live?
No, we're live.
We're live.
We're live. We just
Yeah.
haven't actually started like the true podcast. So usually that like little 20, 30 minutes beforehand, yeah, we've just been doing that part.
That's just typical.
I
Just
feel
saying,
like I should
we
be
are
hurt.
never.
Yeah, like that
We're
was kind
never-
of like the under the bridge insult right there.
Oh,
You're
no. It was.
It's Ray!
You're just kind of like, yeah, there's no organization or professionalism about this podcast at all, but it's great. Like, we're all doing a good job. Pat yourself on the back.
Look, okay. You are so loved here.
You really are, Ray. I adore you.
You are so loved here.
Loved.
Pat yourself on the back.
You are. So, okay, well, with that, I figure we'll wind up starting out the podcast. So, welcome to episode 141 of the Crack Brain Podcast. I am your host, Stefan, with today's co-hosts,
Candace.
And Ray.
and Ray.
Ray! Ray!
Dude, you've reached octaves that some guys.
Yep, I know.
Why is the sound on that?
We can hear
we
it,
can hear
so
from the
we just
headphones.
wanted to make sure that the headphones were still working.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can still go and do that, but it's not like close enough to really be picked up over
Oh,
here.
okay.
So yeah, if you guys are hearing any kind of echo, definitely let us know.
Yeah.
Because we can't hear it. But yeah, so I really like saying your name in really stupid ways. We were absolutely right. It's a 1-syllable name that is absolutely fun to say.
Yeah, and I mean, like, usually with 2-syllable names like Carly, we gotta be like, Carly! You know, we're like, Carly! Carly! And you try to make it 1 syllable.
But can we make Carly happen?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna say everyone's name
Carre?
mixed up.
Carly!
Carly!
I like carré.
You can do Carly.
See, and that's the thing, like,
I
you
just
ha-
like it because your name's in it.
right?
Yeah.
Not wrong. Not wrong. Well, it's like you were the one that actually kind of started the actual nicknames on the team.
Oh, I just do that.
I know, but like we had other little things there, like in chat we would go like Cayenne Stefan or or all these little things, but they only stopped as far as the chat.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you came on, all of a sudden it was like K-Bay and and it's like and Car and it was like, okay, so now we just have
Candice.
nicknames. You can't.
Stuff.
Everyone gets a good one, and I just get a variation on my
Okay,
name.
you say that mine's good, but like I've heard Candice my entire life. So
I'm not gonna say that I was just thinking of Vanilla Ice right there, but
You could also go
I'm
by like candy, which
yeah,
is like.
Candy's one that I will not allow.
nope.
I will tell you that right now.
Nope.
I
Like,
figured.
So, at the other one, this is like my parents only is Candy Cane.
No.
Yeah, that was what my parents called me.
My
Dice, baby.
See, Stefan made Candice cool. I always hated Candice because it was just people misspelling my name.
or is it Candice?
Candice. But
Actually,
How many C's can your name be thick?
I made that joke on our podcast before because we were doing our Ruby episode and basically all the people, their names either begin with a T or a C. And so since all the, characters in Ruby have like their team names, I was like, we're Team Thick. And our guest was just like, stop that.
Wait, was that one of Kawaii Cast
Yeah.
episodes? Okay, because I was like, definitely wasn't any of mine.
Nope.
I wouldn't have stopped that at all.
Yeah, no. That was Tifa was just like, we're gonna put an end to this before it starts. Okay, we are not Team Thick.
But
Well, we are.
but it could be.
Yeah.
This is interesting. I've never been on a podcast with you.
Yeah, I haven't been on a podcast with you.
Yeah.
This hasn't happened?
No, this has never happened.
I was excited. Like I was like, oh, Candace is
Also-
gonna be on there. I thought Tyler was gonna be here too, cause
Yeah, actually, this is my first podcast without Tyler.
whoa.
Yeah,
Wait.
my very first podcast through Crack Bane was supposed to just be me, and Tyler was gonna drop me off, and then Stefan was like, he could be on the podcast too. It's all good. And then Tyler just kind of became attached to me after that.
And he hasn't left the team since.
It's true.
Wow.
Okay, so a little story on how Tyler got hired in this company. I showed up for the official, like, first Cracked Brain meeting, and Tyler was just gonna come pick me up at the end of the meeting. And Stefan was talking about, like, okay, we're gonna start doing these cons, we're gonna start making all these plans, and Tyler showed up literally that day. And Stefan was like, and Tyler can come too, it's all good.
Aw.
And
Wait.
Tyler got hired.
So then, when did he start his podcast?
Oh, what was it, like 3 months after that? After
Wow.
us making like 3 months worth of jokes that Tyler
Does
had no
nothing.
job.
Shut up.
I think the funniest part of that was when you were just like, Tyler, I finally got you a job. You're going to be the team editor. And I lost it.
Why?
I was grasping at straws. I legitimately wanted Tyler to do something. And it was like, you're here. It's like, you're not leaving. We all love you. I'm going to find a job for you. And I was like, editor. And I remember saying that and him looking at me and going like, okay.
Tyler's face went pale, and I about hit the floor. If you ever want to see what Tyler would be like doing editing software, you should watch him try to figure out Microsoft Word.
But doesn't he put the Quietcast
Yeah.
together?
Yeah,
So-
he does all the editing and he does the uploading and whatnot, which is
But-
it's kind of funny because it's like for someone that maybe has that sort of difficulty and whatnot, how much like harder podcasting kind of is.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah, he's taken huge steps since he started doing the podcast. But I've seen that boy function Microsoft Word, and it does not get any better. It turns into me sitting in his living room trying to enjoy something and him screaming at me from his bedroom, Candace! Candace, it did the thing again! Why is it like this? Why can't it just figure out what I want it to do? Why is the capitals off?
I actually thought you guys were like roommates, like in an apartment together, and you guys like did all this podcasting because you guys do it every week.
Yeah,
right?
we do it every week, yeah. I practically am his roommate, but I do live in a different house. We used to be roommates.
the amount of times that people will sit there and go like, okay, so relationship, is it friend? Is it dating? Is it married? Is it like eloped but not telling people?
Yes.
Is it...
I love it that you joke about that.
Yeah.
Wait, you're not serious, right? Hey, I don't know. I don't know you guys as well as I know.
Tyler, YouTube now knows, alright? Abort. Filing for divorce tomorrow.
I swear to God, if you guys ever do come in and go like, look, we've been playing a 5-year prank. Bam! I'm gonna sit there and be like, I don't know if I'm happy, if I'm mad. Just get out of my face. Like, you both are fired. I can't deal with this.
Best prank I ever pulled with Tyler. So one of my friends in California, he absolutely shipped me and Tyler together because we were Ren and Nora, and he was a Ren cosplayer. And I kept telling him, I was like, man, you really need to come out to Utah because we have some pretty good cons you'd really like out here. And he had way more money to come out to a Utah con than I had for a California con. And his response was, I will only come out to Utah if you and Tyler get married. And so I told Tyler, because my roommates were getting married at that time, and they had just filled out their registry, and they put all the stuff they wanted on there, and I was like, Tyler, and Tyler moved into his new place, and he needed all of his stuff furnished. I'm like, let's get married. We'll put all the stuff you need for your new place on the registry.
Hey, you know.
We'll get my buddy out here because he said he'd come out here if we got married.
Now, did he ever get out here?
No.
Okay, so what you're saying is we have the opportunity to achieve a dream here, people. So what I need from you all is we're going to facilitate this wedding.
We're gonna ship it.
Oh, it's been shipped so hard. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it's something where, like I said, with your support, your nagging, 100% commenting support, we can let someone achieve their dream of coming out to a Utah con. All we need from you is to nag these two into getting married.
Tyler, the first thing we're putting on the registry is the chandelier. We're gonna get it!
Is it gonna be like a bunch of little light bulbs shaped as cat heads?
No, so when my friends got married, they put a chandelier on their registry. It was a $3,000 chandelier. And when I confronted them about it at their wedding, the bride was just like, we put that on there as a joke. And her family actually got it for her.
Oh no!
Yes!
I told all of my friends, I'm like, if I ever get married, the first thing going on my registry is a $3,000 chandelier.
Don't do that. Do the best animating computer. Whatever. Like, let's blow the roof off of. Just like, look, you want to make me happy? $10,000 worth of everything I need right now. Let me not work for the next 6 months.
Tyler did put a chandelier on his Secret Santa list too. So that's now the running joke, is that every registry has to have a chandelier on there. And when I told my roommate this, she was like, well, then I'm buying you the chandelier. We're pulling all our money together, reading the chandelier. I'm like, joke's on you. I'm going to put it up in my new apartment.
There we go. So we're going to make this happen. We're going to make this happen. So yes, as what Tyler has already said in chat, he's adding things to the registry now.
Oh, snap.
Okay. So guess what? You done screwed yourself, girl.
Yeah, whatever.
There
I
we
mean,
go.
we're practically married.
Right. There you go. And for the people also joining chat, like, Krista, how you doing? And whatnot. So for anyone that doesn't know, last week we were over at Lvl Up Expo out over in Las Vegas, Nevada. Really fun time. It went a lot better than I was expecting it to.
It was so good.
It was like we got there, we were already kind of tired, and day one just stuff started happening. A lot of stuff that we can't talk about right now, but just like there was enough stuff of like, hey, this happened, and we're like, what? And then this happened. What?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so many things just started going on. But one of the cool things during that is I was peer pressured into joining a full voice acting competition, and I'm glad I did. Okay.
Wait.
So
How did you?
so when we were all up over there, like upstairs, day one,
Yeah.
for the con and whatnot, it was I think it was Brandon Moody, and
I was there.
So none of it was planned?
No, I did not plan to go and do that.
That's why I was like so confused. I was like, I didn't even know that they had voice
Yeah.
acting.
He didn't know they had voice act till we got upstairs.
Yeah, it was one of those where other people like focused in on the voice acting competition. I had no idea it was going up. So like when we were coming up the stairs, I'm like, oh, cool, voice acting, competition. That's rad. And then all of a sudden, I forget who, I think it was Carly and Moody, but they're both like, you should enter. I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't want to. Let's not go and do this.
That does sound like Carly.
Yeah, and I was just like, okay, fine. You know what? I'll do it. Thinking like, there's no way I'm actually going to get entered in this thing. Whatever. And they're both sitting there like, oh my God, you're going to get it. You're going to win. And it's going to be fantastic. I'm like, no, who knows over here? Who knows what's going on? So I went and did the first audition. And that's when the guy was all like, so, I liked it. You're entered. You're in the advanced category. And I'm like, well, damn. Okay. And then he told us like, okay, you're going to have a partner and whatnot. So, like, not knowing who my partner was going to be is just as scary as going into a regular voice recording session when you're sitting there like, I've got this. I nailed the audition. You have a partner. Oh, no. This could either go really well or really bad. And I've been on enough bad ones to sit there like, I get inside the room and go like, and you're a word I can't use right now. I'm just gonna roll with this the best I can, you know.
Yeah.
But went up and, you know, they were like, okay, meet us back over here for 25 minutes. As soon as I got upstairs, it was Krista and her husband standing there. And I kind of keyed in on him. I was like, what is he going to do and whatnot? But then he started going and giving his part. And I'm like, he's animated. It might be him. And then when they're like, it's Krista, I'm like, awesome. This is going to be cool. And then they showed us like, hey, so we've got Legend of Korra. And I instantly went like, I don't know if Krista heard, but I was like, elf. Okay, this is all right, and okay, we've got Legend of Korra, we can do this. And then they showed us a scene, and again I was like, elf, we've got this. The first time she started speaking, which all of our so when they gave us our clip, all of our clip was in French originally. So we didn't have an English clip to learn like the timing and everything. It was all in French. So it's like, maybe this will work and whatnot. But as soon as I heard her start, I was like, oh no, I'm good. I'm good. I lucked out big time,
Yeah,
you know.
She is amazing. Like, not just her voice acting, but she was just a great person.
Right? Well, I mean, it was one of those where that's one of the reasons why I really love voice acting, because you meet so many great people like that. But one of the coolest things about Krista is the fact that, unlike a lot of people I've done, I'm sorry, Krista, I'm going to gush about you for a little bit, so I hope that you're not super self-conscious about it, but I'm sorry. But like, there's a lot of times I'll go into a voice booth and whatnot, and it'll be with another person, and I just know I'm not gonna have fun, because it's either they're not taking it seriously, or it's something where even if we've got good chemistry, I realize it's like, okay, we have good chemistry, but the scene isn't going to work, you know, depending on what it is. Because as some people may get the feeling, I get typecasted into either a god, the devil, death, which I've got 2 death auditions to go and do tonight. You know, I'm voice acting, you know, and then, you know, just general bad guy because of the register of my voice and whatnot. So it's one of those where it's like a lot of people can't play off that. She did it perfectly. Like, our practices, I kept on getting more and more hyped. And the fact that, like, day one, we're sitting there like, we've got this 3-minute scene that we have to go and nail down. And they're like, be off book. And both of us are going, okay, we'll be off book. And you have efforts, which efforts are like the grunting and the yelling and the screaming. So it's like, okay. And you have to have the timing. Okay, cool. And you're doing this in front of a lot of people. I'm starting not to like you, guy.
So, what I was confused about, he was talking about how he doesn't normally have a different division. Like, this was all supposed to be lower division.
So what it was is, like, in big cons, like if he were to come out over here for FanX, odds are he would have multiple different like divisions and stuff like that. You know, so you've got your novice, your beginner, your advanced, and your masters. And then, you know, same thing for like if he was doing San Diego Comic-Con or, you know, or Dragon Con, they'd have those big ones. But for these smaller events, he only really has beginners and whatnot. And usually because more experienced people will probably go to those other cons. He's not expecting people that have been working or just have the chops to be able to go and do a lot of that stuff. So it's one of those where when it was like, okay, when both of us did our performances separately, he knew like, okay, well, I can't put these guys that are giving this kind of performance and this kind of range with everybody else. Granted, there were still people in that beginner division, I'm sorry, that really could have been in advanced.
Oh, I agree.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Like the first group that actually came up over on that inside the competition, I even told them they got robbed in the scoring and whatnot. They were absolutely fantastic. And knowing where we were, they could have actually been more capable of advanced than the other group that was in the advanced category.
I think the other group volunteered.
They did, and I don't I get it that you don't want to have just, you know, the advanced division be like, oh, well, these guys win because there was literally no other competition. But at the same time, I quite literally just would have the audience wouldn't have known at that point. So I just would have gone and told, that first group, like, you guys are actually doing a really great job. We're going to count you as an advanced group.
Yeah.
And whatnot. I would have been completely fine with that because they rocked their performance. Everyone was really on key. Honestly, if I had to say there was any group that probably could have given us a run for our money, it was them.
Yeah.
Okay. They were right on point. But it's the fact that they were just that first group to go and no one understood the actual like judging, ranking and stuff like that they just wound up getting like fours.
Yeah.
Which at least one from their group actually won the beginners category. But yeah, I would have loved to have seen them in advance. But anyway, like I said, it was something where just going and being able to kind of do that, like, I don't do a lot of actual character work. Like, I don't classify God or Death really as characters because they're the same thing no matter what property they are. It's you have a deep voice and you're somewhat morose and you look off into the distance. It's the same doggone voice every single time. All it is am I going to be slightly happy and optimistic, or am I going to be droopy, mad, and meh? That's meh. All right, that's all it is. So it's one of those where we're getting to go and kind of do these other things where, look, I can sell you a 2019 Mercedes-Benz L-Class. It's the Benz for the next move of your life. Okay, yes, that's an actual line I've had to do. Okay, but it's... It happens. They don't always get used. There's a lot of times you come back in where they go like, yeah, we didn't like that line, so we're going to redo that. But yeah, it was just really refreshing to be able to have her as a partner. And it's kind of one of those where now, as I've continued to get other offers, like Krista, I really hope that you're taking full advantage of the Discord group and some of the other things, because I've already gotten 3 auditions and whatnot. So I really encourage you to go and do that. If not, I'm just going to start pulling you into things. Just be like, and I've got a partner. She should do this. So, yeah, but I freaking loved having Krista around. And, like, if I were to say, like, going forward, if I could have a voice acting partner, she's it. She's literally it. It's like, it's literally Krista. And as much as I know he's not here and all, and all that, the only other person that I have that kind of voice acting kind of like compatibility with, not even that we've actually voice acted together, is Tyler Jones. Like both you two, I love both of you, and I can feed off of either one of you. So as much as I'm working on stuff and I'm going to be trying to include you in my things, I want to work with you all, not just in my things. So
basically, me and Tyler's reaction to the whole, like, voice acting competition, well, everybody was, like, pressuring, like, go do it. Me and Tyler were just like, yeah, Stefan's gonna win.
It's really messed up when you guys say that, like, I'm flattered by it. I love that you guys say it, but it's always like,
God, dude.
it's not going to happen every time.
You started out with a backflip.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, I mean, is typical.
It's... You're not wrong. Well, I mean, it was the fact that, like, when we were at the audition part, they were like, hey, you guys have got to be high energy when we announce you, so make it a big thing, make it a spectacle, think like you're on a game show. So I'm like, can I do a backflip? And he's like, I mean, yeah, don't hurt yourself.
You kind of scared somebody that was, like, near you.
Oh, I know. I was like, okay, so during a backflip, I keep my eyes open, and because of doing, like, gymnastics and diving, when I do a backflip, like, when I'm actually looking down, even though it's only a split second, it's almost like everything's in slow motion. I can start picking out things. During the backflip, I could see someone literally, it was whoever was over on my right-hand side, they immediately tucked in their leg, and in the air, I could see this... I'm just like I'm sitting there trying not to crack up in the air because I have to talk after that. But there's so many times I'm like, if like someone's really paying attention, you can hear me giggling while I'm doing a backflip and whatnot. So yeah, it's like I saw that person all of a sudden, like, they scooted their legs. It was like.
That was very much like RTX. We had Space Rose cosplay hanging out with us as Pyrrha, and you walked up to us like, "Hey guys, how's it going?" And Tyler and I were both just like, "Woo!" And you were just like, "All right." all right. And she was like, what's happening? And I'm like, he's going to do a backflip. She's like, no. And he did. And she's like, that was amazing.
Like I said, it's something where I realized that going to a new con, not that many people know about the backflip for woos.
Yeah.
But every time, like, I'm thankful this last time over at FanX, there's a lot of people that didn't do it because I just didn't really have time.
Yeah.
But the amount of times that I just sit there and go like, all right, we're doing backflip for woos and whatnot. So the amount of times I'll just hear like, woo! And then people are like, all right, go. And then I love seeing people's reaction that know about it, like, he's doing it! He's doing the thing! And then they also know what number are you at? What number are you at? You know, and for anyone that's watching that hasn't been there for backflip for woos, I think over at RTX, I was at, I think it was like close to 60 by the end of the third day.
Yeah, you were at, I want to say it was like 27 or 37 when you approached us on day one.
Yeah.
So
it's insanity and whatnot. So like once people see it and they understand the game, it's just nonstop. It's just like I'll just be walking down like I feel like woo, put everything down and do it back. And see, and that's the thing is like with the game, I have to do it wherever I'm standing right there. So usually it's just me like putting stuff down, going like, no one's behind me. Okay. Doing the backflip and then going. So like people that don't know what's going on just see a random black guy do a backflip of just like imagine you're walking there like, oh my god, this is so great. There's Ultra Saber and okay, we're walking and a backflip. So
and yeah, like Tyler and I are just sitting there nonchalant and it's just like, yeah, he does that.
Yeah. It's a thing.
He's gonna win.
It's a thing. So yeah, like I said, the voice acting competition was really, really fun. We also did Chaos Corner. So as we were kind of telling you guys, Chaos Corner was something that it was just a random thing we started talking about, like 2 or 3 months ago?
Yeah.
We knew that, like, burps.
We knew the burps. Yeah.
Yeah, we knew the burps. When we had approached Level Up about doing any kind of panel, we were like, hey, we do this gaming thing and whatnot. And they were just like, oh yeah, go and do it. And then when I remember telling them like, hey, we kind of want to throw punishments into it. The email I got back was like, or you couldn't, you shouldn't, maybe not. Like, don't do that. So like over the course of like the next like month and whatnot, I had to prove to them like we're not gonna cattle prod each other, although that was on our list.
Yeah, we did have tasers originally.
Oh my god, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did have like tasers
like
and
those
like
like the ones you put like on your fist or you just hold and it's just a quick like boom.
Or like a shock collar and whatnot over on it and whatnot. So it's like it was it's definitely possible that did.
Right.
We could still even do it like during one of our gaming things.
Yeah, as long as there's no liability involved.
We have to like film it.
Yeah.
We're
not. We're gonna tell Brandon we're filming it. We're just gonna shock him.
I was gonna say like, no, we're definitely gonna film it and all that kind of stuff. We're just not gonna be nice about it. Now we're really like your plan a whole lot better. just like we're absolutely filming this, and we're like, man. See him sitting there convulsing on the ground, like, and this is an Instagram story.
Oh dang! The stuff stopped recording. We don't know what happened. You might have to do that again, Brandon.
And of course, this is when he comes back to chat. When we say we're going to do physical harm to him, now he comes back in.
I'm like the Brandon whisperer.
But
you know how he's like the one on the team that always gets the abuse?
Yeah.
Even like new people, like for some reason, just when I was coming on, there was this aura about him that just said like,
punish me.
Well, that's why Chaos Corner worked so well. As soon as I came on stage and said we are all against him, and the whole room was like, okay, we're on board with this.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely, we're on board with him.
And that's kind of the hidden dynamic and whatnot, where it's like, I want everyone to know, like, there is never any animosity between me and Brandon, all right? There's no hard feelings or anything. Like, Brandon is someone I rely on a lot for a lot of things that you guys see and a lot of things that you guys don't see, all right? But it's one of those where I love being the bad guy against Brandon in videos where it's like, I freaking hate you. I hate you so much right now, So it's like, yeah, when you're not here, I'll shout your praises. When you are here, you're dead to me. All right.
So
Yeah, like I don't think there's anybody here who genuinely dislikes Brandon in any way, but we all have this agreement that like he's either the punching bag or he's the villain.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not wrong. You're not. See, and it makes me really excited for other things that we have planned and whatnot, because I want to see where he'll take things and go like, have fun.
Yeah.
Let's see where this goes. So yeah, but like I said, you know, Chaos Corner was really, really cool. So for anyone that wasn't over at Lvl Up Expo, the videos that, like, we're gonna be doing clips of those videos somewhat soon. The audio got really jacked up because one part that it got stolen and then got returned to me like way at the end of Sunday. But it's something where you know, we had a lot of fun. So basically what it is we started playing, you know, different varieties of games like we normally do on this channel, but then rather than just play the games and only the commentary, the last 30 minutes we did it where it was like punishment rounds. So we had things like wasabi Oreos that Carly punished Caden with the wasabi Oreos. Like, it was only supposed to be like two per match. We were playing Jump Force. I think he had something like 4.
Yeah. The best part about Carly feeding Caden wasabi Oreos, he resents Tyler for it. He told us today that he cannot eat Oreos anymore, and it's Tyler's fault. Tyler wasn't even on the stage.
just random. It's his fault.
Yeah, well, he said that the first time he heard the word wasabi Oreo was from Tyler. And so I think he's under the impression that it was Tyler's idea.
oh no.
This idea it originated from this brain.
Yeah.
It was Carly's.
It was Carly's idea to keep feeding him.
It's that.
Carly was taking all the credit.
Yeah.
It's fine by me.
Well, I'm just joking.
Yeah, no, and then there was one point, like, Moody was sitting next to me in the audience, and she's like, why does Caden keep getting punished? But Stefan only had to eat 1 banana. And then everybody was like, feed him a wasabi Oreo!
Well, see, and that was the thing where it's like, you know, on the fly, I was sitting there, like, when Carly came up, like, behind me, it was one of those where I was like, okay, I'm not, like, okay, so, like, my punishment was I had to eat, like, a peanut butter covered banana and play games. So it's like I held it basically like this and trying to go that way. It was really nasty. It got all over the, like, I was trying my best not to get it all over the controller and whatnot, but it did. Okay, so it's like that one may or may not be coming back.
Yeah, it's still on the controller.
Yeah, like it is.
Tyler was still cleaning it today at Free Comic Book Day. Like, you saw him with, like, digging into it, just kind of like, I'm gonna get this clean. It's driving him crazy. And we were, like, there was one point where we were playing Jump Force, and I kept hitting the trigger to change characters, and I was like, it's not changing. And Brendan's like, is the controller busted because of the peanut butter? And I think it was just I got the timing wrong.
It's, well, no, so that the regular wireless controllers are still under the abuse of my children.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, we have now a strict rule inside this house that they get to, like, they can now deal with their wireless controllers. We've kind of grounded them from their Xbox that's usually in their room. But we kind of allow them to play Fortnite when it's like, we just need you to shut up and whatnot. So we'll sit there and do that. But yeah, you're not wrong. Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
it's a whole thing. But yeah, it's like that one is still under the strict abuse of children.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Tyler.
I mean, that might be why Tyler was struggling with Jump Force, but then we gave him the blue controller and he still wasn't winning, so.
Like I said, that game, Jump Force, is not about button combinations. Like, it's not Tekken, no. It's not Mortal Kombat.
It's not Smash Bros.
Yeah, it's not Smash Bros. You have, like, 2 different buttons that do your attacks, a jump button, a block that it works under timing. It doesn't work every time. Like, you can't just hold it down and it work. What I've discovered is you have to hit it at the exact right, like, millisecond for it to work. And then it's flawless. Yeah. You know, but
also it only works one direction. It's a one-way shield. If they hit you from the sides or from behind, it's not going to do you any good.
Right. And then I've even figured out, as far as like switching out the characters. There's a certain time frame that goes on. Like you can kind of see it on the character sheet where they kind of gray out for a second and then all of a sudden they come back in full color. But it's still like another 5 seconds after that.
Yeah.
Which, okay, so quick story about what was going on today. So while we were over at Free Comic Book Day over at Game Haven over in Sandy, which if you're local, check them out. We may or may not have a reason for you to go over there like all the time now, but
I mean, but you guys should, if you guys like nerdy games and comic books, I mean,
yeah, and that's a great thing. It's like they do have comic books. They are a cafe as well, so like you can get your coffee and all that kind of stuff. And then like they do D&D tournaments and Magic tournaments like weekly, so it's a really, really great spot for that.
Yeah, they even had like just tables with just piles of Magic cards for you to play with.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was really cool.
And that's a norm for them. That's not like we're only doing this for Free Comic Book Day. Like, no, they just have that constantly there, so one of the things that did kind of go on is, in addition to like some of the other cosplay, like in addition to us being there were some other cosplayers that were there. One of them in particular, she's part of a duo cosplay group, Rebel Girls Cosplay. I'm not gonna say her personal name just in case if she doesn't want her personal name out there.
Of course.
But one of them, like I told them at the beginning, like, hey, if you guys want to go and play games, we're playing them, and you can drop in anytime you want. They were also in charge of hosting the cosplay contest that was also there. So it was one of those where it's like, okay, they're gonna do their own thing. Let's not worry about it. Literally, as soon as we were done for the day. We were packing up, getting ready to go. You guys were already gone. We're like, okay, we're finally done. We need to hurry up and shut everything down so that way we can get over here early and and set up. All of a sudden, she immediately sits down. She's like, I'm ready. And I'm like, damn.
What are we playing?
Okay, we gonna play games, whatnot. So after like a little back and forth, we decided to go and play Jump Force. That girl. Dang. First match, she wiped the floor with me. And it was unfair because I was actually trying and she had no idea how to play the game.
I was
She was
actually
just
trying.
she was button mashing.
For what?
But she was doing a really good job of button mashing, better than I was. So I'm a little bit salty about it, but I'm not mad at it. So you won. I'm just...
Girl, you won.
That's all I'm saying. It was just one big... so...
Oh my god, that reminds me. I finally showed Brandon the shoes. Like it was like
the
2000,
video.
Yeah, it was the video from like.
Oh my god, shows.
Oh my god, shows.
Let's get some shows.
Let's get some shows. And I finally showed it to him, and like a few different times when we were in Vegas, he was like referencing the shows thing.
Yeah.
Because of the
All
crack bread
the
shows
time.
that
Yeah.
are happen to be on our store. So if you want yourself some crack bread shows,
Let's go get some
go
shows.
get some shows.
But I was kind of encouraging because like we'll walk by like some shows. Oh my god, need some shows.
He was doing that on the strip so much.
Really?
Yeah. We went to Caesar's Palace and we walked by this store that had like these ridiculously expensive shoes that Carly wants. And Brandon was just like, oh my god, shoes. It's like, Brandon, no. The best part about being in that part of Caesar's Palace though is they have like the ceiling that's like clouds.
Yeah.
And Tyler was wearing my glasses and he had 2 margaritas at that point. And we walk in and Tyler like is looking up and then he takes the glasses off and he's like blinking and then he puts them back on. And he's doing this for a while. And I'm like, you all right, buddy? And he's like, is it daytime? Are we still outside? Like,
How high were you?
he was acting like he was stoned, not drunk. He really was the dude.
The dude. And so when you did like the hair flip, it just reminded me of like when Brandon was wearing the dress, he just needed like the wig. I almost offered him
like,
one of my wigs just to put on, just so him.
I am really disappointed he didn't commit to wearing that to the strip. Or at least to the con. Like, he should have committed to wearing that to the con. I'm just saying.
It would have been befitting.
Yeah.
But I think that would have been a little more befitting in Key West. Mm-hmm. You ever heard of Fantasy Fest?
No.
It's an event in every October that people are the flamboyant as they can be, and everybody, it's it's really wild.
So what you're telling me, this is extra con? Everyone's just a little bit more extra.
Very.
I love you.
It's all like bright, you know, flaming colors, and you know, it's very pride, but it's also very like, just show your tits. Everybody's in body paint.
But if you're talking about him going as like one in Moody's dress to that, no, Brandon has to go in body paint to that.
If Brandon went into Moody's dress, just sit there and just smash what he's got together. Yeah, I'm gonna make this fit and whatnot. Cause
we're just taping his chest.
The amount of stairs. So you know, Madam Moody, who's a great friend over on the podcast, been over here many times and whatnot. She went out with us to Lvl Up Expo, and if anyone is not aware of some of the things that have gone on in Moody's life, she's had breast augmentation.
Yeah.
All right, and girl is very, very happy with what she's got now.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
Okay, I'm not saying anything.
You can't, but I can.
So it's something where all I'm saying is that most of the days while we were on the strip, it was like, okay, it's like walking down, like walking with you and her,
and Ray.
okay, and Ray, all y'all on the strip and whatnot. I'm sitting there walking, and the amount of people that it would be like, guys would be like, what up? And I'm just sitting there like, I'm a grown man. I'm a married man. I ain't getting fights. I ain't getting fights over in Las Vegas and whatnot. So that was a thing. But take that from the strip to any time, you know, we stayed over in Airbnbs, you know, so we actually went shopping every now and then whatnot. So there was like a Walmart that was pretty much like right around the corner for us and whatnot. I had to break it to two women out over here that it's an experience when you go outside of Utah where black people are not so plentiful.
Yeah.
And then you go to somewhere where black people are more present. There are certain things that happen that if you're not around them, you will never pick up on. The first time we were out over in Walmart, it was myself, you,
and Moody.
And we're walking, and it was normal. Everything was fine.
And then Moody took off.
Moody took off doing her normal thing, so it was just me and Candace, and we're walking around. And Candace is just...
Yeah, like
having a merry old time.
I wasn't paying attention to the other people.
You were paying attention while I'm sitting there walking through, and what I will say is where we were, I was no longer a minority by any stretch of the imagination and whatnot. So we're walking through. Candace is, hey, this is fun, and I'm receiving daggers. Okay, it's just like, how dare you? You're not down with the struggle and whatnot. So I'm just sitting there going on. She has no idea what's going on. And it was like, okay, so, you know, like maybe like 45 minutes into our trip, we've got to go get one more thing, and then we're finally going to head out. And that's when I finally break it over to Candace, because I was like, look, it's getting bad right now. So I was like, okay, look, you might not have been seeing what's been going on, but realize as we've been walking, you have basically now taken over the realm of my wife, because all they saw was a ring on my finger. Okay, what also didn't help is that the shirt that you were wearing, under the right lighting, is semi see-through.
Yep.
You know what?
Which normally I wouldn't care about, because it's like, oh, I have boobs. Who cares? Like, I was wearing a bra. Yeah,
but she made them herself.
But under that situation, as soon as Stefan pointed out, I was just like, I want to leave.
It was it was something where I had to break it to her, like, look, okay, people think that you're married to me. Normally, that's not a bad thing. Unfortunately, because we're around a lot of black people, there's a thing that most black people, most black men, they wind up marrying white women. So you get ice daggers from other black women. It's not universal, but it happens. And as soon as I pointed that out, it was almost like opening up Candace's eyes to a whole world around her, because she was like, okay. And then she started looking around, and she saw it. She's like, oh my God, you're right. No,
it was terrifying. Like Tiff, I am so sorry. Like,
it was bad, because like I said, it's never just like one or two people. It's you walk down an aisle and every head is just
Yeah,
How dare you take one of our men?
it literally got to the point where I did not want to go to Walmart anymore with Stefan unless Tyler was there. I'm like...
And she hung on to Tyler.
Yeah, I'm like, Tyler, we are married anytime we're at Walmart. Because
of all places.
Yeah,
it was bad with you. It got worse with Moody. Because we at least told Moody, like, hey, this is what happened to Candace and whatnot. So just, that's a thing. So, like, one of the last days when we actually had to go out and go and get, like, some random other stuff for our next day and whatnot, same thing happened with her. Now, thankfully, she wasn't nearly as revealing
As she
normally was, but there's curves you cannot hide no matter how, like, what shirt you have on.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there walking around and whatnot. So you've got Moody, just still looking really, really nice and whatnot, really good, even though it's the morning and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I was like, okay, it's already starting, she was like, really? Really? She got really happy. She's like, oh my God, it's happening, it's happening. That changed like 2 minutes in. She's like, this isn't fun anymore.
Yeah.
This feels like literal hate. And I'm like, it is literal hate. It's bad. It's bad. You're not a fun, like, they're not happy with you right now.
It's scary. I did not want that veil lifted on me, all right? I wanted to remain completely oblivious. But at the same time, I'm happy I knew about it because then as soon as Tyler was in Vegas, I'm like, we are attached. Like...
You, me, married now!
Like, we're both white, okay? Like, people can't be mad about that.
Well, they can be. They just won't be. So, yeah, it was a whole thing to kind of like break that to you all. Like, I'm sorry, traveling with me is a burden in many realms.
Like I said, part of me kind of wishes I could have remained oblivious, and the other part of me is like, I'm glad that you told me because now I could prepare.
See, now the only two people that haven't gotten this in any realm is you and Carly. I'm afraid for both of you.
Well, actually, when I lived in Florida, there is a good amount of white people there, but I was kind of a minority, especially at work. Well, not just being a female mechanic, but being a white female mechanic.
It's true. It's true.
It was pretty interesting because where I come from, it's a big split between white, Mexican, and Asian descent, and very few black people. But when I went there's a lot of black people. There's a lot of people from like Cuba, from the islands, from just literally all over. Then you got even within those like ethnicities, then you had people from all over the nation, like from New England, from New York, from California. Yeah. Then you got like the Midwesters. Then you got the native Floridians. Those people, they have different like sanctions within.
I like that you're explaining this like it's a National Geographic episode. And here we see the
local Floridians. Tense as they may be, don't make any quick movements around them. They can be quite jittery.
This is a ritual that is very common among their people. It is best not to disturb them.
I worked with a lot of like native Floridians or people who just like were usually from the islands or New England, and they like basically were Floridians because they grew up there. They're very rednecky. Like they just love to go fishing. They love to go hunting. They love to go out on the beach, out on the boats, and it was just the thing to do. And put that into an area where we worked in the swamps. Yeah, we worked on like a conservation area, so we had gators everywhere. We had wild pig. We had cranes. We had snakes. We had just tons of stuff. Like you would just be on your way to work, like. I was riding my motorcycle in to go clock in, and I was stopped, and there's just this about 10-foot gator crossing the path, just moseying his way over, and I'm like 3 feet from him, and he could just...
That's a mobile speed bump.
And he had like a raccoon arm hanging out of his mouth. And I was
That's a mobile speed bump!
I was like, good thing he's eating. But like you take all that. And
He
then, like,
seems full. It's hard.
well, well, like we'd be in the back at like the paint shop. Like there was like a little hangar for all the painters to paint the aircraft.
Oh.
So we'd be in the back of the paint shop, and they had little ponds everywhere, and like literally you could interact with the animals. Like you don't want to, but they're just there. There's no fence to usually block you out. So in this little pond behind the paint shop, one of my buddies had like a little portable collapsible fishing pole. It was like, it looked like something you gave to like a little 5-year-old. But he would pull it out of his lunchbox, pull it, like, you know, extend it out and go fish. I mean, we were having downtime, so he would just be out there fishing for some really nasty looking bass, and he would pull them up. But he would play this game with this gator back there. We had at least, usually about 4 gators on the property, but sometimes they would just...
Stop saying gator!
Why?
I can't take it!
Ray, can I just say that I love your method of storytelling, because we started talking about black women in Vegas, and we're talking about gators, and I don't know where the transition started, but it all happened just through you. Because you're just like, yeah, I know what we're talking about with black women, because one time there was a gator.
Not like that.
I lost it the record!
Dude, I am so nervous when it comes to talking about race, because I was scared very hard as a child because I made a comment that wasn't supposed to come off as racist.
Yeah.
But I was like 10.
Oh, and I'm not saying that anything you're saying is like coming off as racist. I'm just saying that your tangents are like incredible.
Well, no, okay, that's... I don't know where I was going with that.
Yeah, you're just
Either
kind
one.
of like, yeah, I love fruit snacks. By the way, that time I was living in Florida, there was a raccoon. And that's why I don't eat meat anymore. And it's like... and it's my favorite thing in the world.
Why do you think I constantly have to be on the podcast? I love you so much.
Nobody knows how to make a transition like Ray does.
I swear to God. I swear to God. Like, I realize that you guys watching this and listening to this probably aren't having nearly as much fun as we are, but I'm sorry. This is what I look forward to every single week. Oh my God.
I was just waiting for the moment where the story, like, she's like, so we're fishing in the pond. Back to the conversation about boobs.
So Sandwich pointed out one time that that you gonna be okay?
I almost choked.
No.
So they pointed out one time that like I seem to have a story for like every single word that they said.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, not.
A high five. There
There we go.
I thought you were asking a question. Or you were trying to comment. Oh my God.
I don't want to interrupt your story, but
No, it's cool.
So I was mentioning a Free Comic Book Day that you do this thing with like your face where like you look really shocked or really upset at me all the time, and I never know whether or not like things I'm saying to you is like offensive or not. And then I was hanging out at Tyler's because we were eating lunch, and I was going through my Facebook memories, and this video of palace cats showed up on my memories, and I was watching it. I'm like, those are the facial expressions. Ray is a palace cat.
I've never heard of that before.
You've never heard of palace cats?
Uh-uh.
They're very unique wild animal cats because they don't have like the long pupils like normal cats do. They have round pupils. So their facial expressions look very, very like person-like.
Oh no.
And they always look like really shocked. Like they always look like they just spotted a murder. And they gotta get to the bottom of it.
Sorry, it looked like...
Yeah, I will show you the video after we're done recording. It's like, that is the facial expressions you make whenever we hang out.
So, there was a lot of times when, whenever I'm, like, focused, I'm just like literally just focused on something.
Mhm.
I'd be like walking somewhere and I don't hear somebody like shouting from the car like, "Hey Ray, like, hey, what's going on?"
Mhm.
I'm just like focused. I gotta get to this point. I gotta go pick up this or do this.
Mhm.
And they always said I look so angry. And I'm like, I'm just thinking. That's just my face. I'm either thinking or and so I understand more that when people point this kind of stuff out,
Mhm.
that when I say a joke,
Mhm.
they don't know if I'm serious or if I'm joking. And it concerns me with Tyler sometimes because I seem to either catch him at the wrong times or he doesn't realize I'm joking because I probably look like I'm just wanting to kill him when I'm just like, haha, you did that.
You guys are the exact opposite when it comes to facial expressions too. His eyes are always half closed and your eyes are always wide open.
The amount of times that there's been, it's like you'll come in and you'll be like, shh. Before I was like, what'd I do? What's going on? Now I'm just like, shut up.
Oh, the head bob was perfect too. Like, that was the perfect impression. He was just like, like when we were watching Fruits Basket and the episode ended, you're just like, it stopped. Play the next one.
It's like, Ray.
Because I watched Fruit Baskets years ago and I loved it, and just now that we were like watching, I was like, oh my god, this brings back so many memories, but why did it stop?
And we're like, sweetie, it's called simulcast. Like, they haven't made the other episodes yet.
She gets there, like, starts ringing us, like, make it now!
She like flies to Japan and just gives the animators like, what's taking so long?
You're like, excuse me, episodes 10 should be out right now.
You have to do that facial expression to the camera because
Like, what do you mean season 1?
because that is like, you keep doing that impersonation of me.
There we go. Chris, I realize that you got to go and whatnot. Like I said, definitely join us back over for the next episode that we're going to be doing next week. And then we're going to figure a way to go and like get you on this podcast. Because I want, and like, I need you either here or in some realm, like maybe in a window, like right here.
Yeah.
In here.
Yeah, we'll just, patch you in via hologram. It's great.
Yes. Because I have that technology. You know what? I'll probably be able to figure it out by next week.
Yeah, it'll be like Star Wars. It'll be great.
So, yeah. Well, knowing that we're right over here, I do want to take a minute really quick to thank our Patreon backers. I know we've been kind of crud about being able to go and mention it, but like I said, they're the ones that really kind of make sure that we can do a lot of this stuff. So if you're unfamiliar with Patreon, it's a way that you can kind of help support us to be able to get what we need as far as like operating costs. And trust me, the amount of times where like today, being able to go and do Game Haven and doing what we did over there and whatnot, we had to go out and get like an Ethernet cable on the fly, So it's our Patreon backers that actually make experiences like that very, very possible for us. So I definitely want to go and say huge shout out to you guys. A gigantic thank you, because without you, like I said, there's many things that we just legitimately could not do. So, knowing that, you guys mean so much to us, I'm trying to like kind of vamp to go and make sure that I have enough time to actually look all of you up and whatnot, because that's a thing. But I definitely want to say a huge thank you to Dorkside Cookies, Brandon Peck, Candace Chesley, Tyler Jacobson, the Dwarf, Ray Gill. We've also got Miles Cortez, Jason Ross. I think I said Tyler Jones already. Maybe
No,
I
you said
did.
Jacobson.
I said Jacobson. Okay, so Tyler Jones, Sammy, Stephanie City Stork. It feels like I'm forgetting someone. You
probably are.
It's this is the most uncomfortable feeling in the world when I'm sitting there going like, I remembered everyone, and then I know I'm gonna wind up getting a message later on tonight like, you forgot me. Okay, which
what the heck?
My bad. But like I said, thank you guys so much for being able to contribute that way. if you guys are not on our Patreon and you would like to go and help us out, we do have rewards as little as $1. We're actually going to be revamping our entire Patreon section because before, like, this was supposed to actually be only available for Patreon and then later for everyone else, but we just started doing it for everyone else because it kind of helped us out a little bit more. So we're going to be actually doing more content for you guys over on Patreon in the somewhat near future. So like I said, if you guys want to be able to help us out, we have tiers as low as $1 all the way up over to, I think our highest one is like $10 technically.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not much, but it helps us out in a big way. Another way that you guys can go and help us out is by going over to either one of our stores. If you like the prints and things that are over on our Patreon, you can go and get those either on our Patreon as they come out, or you wait a couple of weeks and then you can get them over on the Crackbrain website. The other ways, if you want things like this Crackbrain shirt, we do have mugs and other shirts and stickers, and you guys are really big on the stickers. Let me tell you that much right now.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of sales for the stickers to the point of I've had Printify, who's one of our resources for that. They've sent me emails going like, you guys are killing it in stickers. Fantastic job. And I'm like, great. Buy mugs.
Yeah, right? I keep meaning to bring my mug for like podcasts and stuff because I have my Kawaii Cat cast.
Yeah. And like
mug and it has Podcat on it.
Yeah, it's like the mugs
adorable.
are really fun and whatnot. We've got different styles of them. We got a black one, we got a white one. I've been playing around with there is a color changing one, but I need to test it to figure out how it's color changing, you know, and whatnot. So we've got that. There's all kinds of different things. Like if you guys want us to be able to do something, like you want a Crackbrain blanket, we're gonna make that. You know, and also knowing that these are the two people that are going to be most responsible for the art and whatnot. So there will be things actually coming up that aren't just the logo or the text or anything like that. We're going to have some more original things for you guys in the near future.
Like Podcat.
Like Podcat. Podcat. There's, I will at least say this. We haven't done the designs yet, but I'm very key on doing a sponsored by shirt at some point because that's been kind of one of the longest running jokes of this doggone podcast. So yeah, it's like that will be coming out sometime in the near future. But like I said, huge thank you to you guys. We really are going to be relying on your support to be able to move forward. Because there's some things that we're going to be doing in the very near future that are definitely within our grasp. But just a little bit of extra help just makes it where it's a little bit easier for us and a little bit faster to be able to go and get those things out to you guys. So
Brandon says peck on peck.
Peck on peck. I will leave that for one of the upcoming episodes. I think we kind of mentioned. No, I think we only told Moody about it.
Yeah. We
And
only
Moody-
told Moody about
yeah.
it and she was very enthusiastic about it.
She was very happy about that, and it's a surprise. Okay, so if you guys are curious about that, you'll have to wait. I mean, I don't even know if that's gonna be a thing.
Yeah.
I want it to be a
He's got a
thing.
bird, so it's basically a peck on a peck.
Yeah, but peck on a peck it just needs to
Yeah,
happen.
I mean,
The only thing is I don't want to be over at an event and someone go like peck on a peck and we go
Peck
like,
on peck?
I didn't need to see that.
That's
I didn't need to see that.
yeah,
You know?
that's what we're known for now.
So yeah, as from context, you guys might be able to guess kind of sort of what it may be,
Oh my
but
God.
It's not a bird.
yeah.
I have a t-shirt idea.
See, this is why you're here.
Oh yeah, we came up with a t-shirt idea at Lvl Up Expo as well. I just really wanted to do the computer.
Now I remember.
T-shirt. Yeah.
Now I remember. So yeah, like I said, and if there are designs that you guys want us to be able to go do, especially of either things that we've said or like any longtime fans of the podcast, if you guys have things that you want as shirts, stickers, mugs, whatever have you, send those over to us. You can reach out to me personally at stefan@thecrackbrain.com. If you go over to the website, I've got a direct link over to using my email and whatnot. So just send it there or reach out to us however you want. I try to check the comment section, but I'm also really crud at checking the comment section. So, yeah.
We could also maybe offer them to, if they have any ideas that they want.
Yeah, that's what he was suggesting.
So that's literally throat.
Oh, I don't mean just like in like what kind of t-shirts or whatever. Like I mean like if they have like an idea they want, like words or something.
There's the ability to do that. So like the great thing is the platform that we're using is very versatile in the fact that we can do a lot of different things basically for no cost at all. You know, we just have to go and figure all that stuff out. So it's basically that conversation is a conversation that we'll have over here and whatnot. We're not going to go and slog you guys down over with that, but yeah. So like I said, there's that. You know, we'll go for now before we end. I've got one thing I want to go and talk about, and it's not even that I want to talk about it. I want to talk about other things. So have you been able to see Avengers Endgame?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we're not about to do spoilers.
No, we're not going to do spoilers.
We're not doing spoilers. We're even not really going to be talking about the movie at all. Okay? It's not about scenes. We're not going to spoil anything. Be fine with that. Although I will say is that there may be an episode coming up that might be completely spoiler filled.
Oh, I want to talk about that.
Yeah, so
I have a lot of thoughts.
We might be having a special guest.
Saturday?
Not next Saturday. Not next Saturday. It just in the somewhat near future, we might have a special guest come on to be able to go and talk
Endgame spoilers.
Endgame spoilers.
I want to because we run our anime podcast, and I can't talk about Avengers on an anime podcast, but I want to talk about Avengers because I have a lot of thoughts.
So yeah, like I said, we're literally not talking about the movie.
No, not here.
We're not talking about the movie. The only thing that you guys should know is if you've been on social media at all, you know it makes people feel. Okay? All I'm saying, I'm not going to give you timestamps. I'm not going to do any of that. Nothing. All I'm going to say is I cried during that movie. Okay? And I ugly cried during that movie. There's only 3 movies on this planet that have ever done that to me. Only one of which I actually like. First one that ever did that to me, Simon Birch. All right? That movie is beautiful. Okay, but I refuse to watch that because there's something special about seeing a a little person also interacting with a normal-sized person and forming this really great friendship. And the way that he dies it pisses me off because he dies being a hero. Okay? That's my own personal gripe. But the other movie that did that to me, and it's my own personal, I love this movie. I realize that it's not the most manly movie out there, but I absolutely love it for many different reasons. Okay? And it's one that Tiff has basically outlawed me from seeing. Meet Joe Black. That is a perfect movie. All right? If you've never seen Meet Joe Black, watch that movie. You'll probably be able to make it through without tears if you're not a father. If you're a father, you won't make it through the end of that movie without crying. Okay? You'll make it through the entire, I don't see what he's talking about. Then that last 10 minutes is going to hit you and be like, why'd you do this to me, Savon? You're freaking bastard. Okay? I'm sorry. That movie is beautiful. I'm spitting too much. Okay? But it's something where I love that movie. Now, Endgame, I have a movie that I can proudly wear my tears on.
I'm really proud. I won't say what, but all my fan theories from 2 years ago. One in particular, and I even while I was crying, I kept bragging to Tyler that I was right about it, but I was right.
Yeah.
I was tears streaming down my face, and I'm like, I told you 2 years ago. I told you it was gonna happen.
There's a couple key things that everyone more or less knew was going to happen. It's if you have not been following the story, you should have known this was going to happen. Yeah. Then there's other things that are I didn't see that happening at all. And then there's other moments that make you cry, especially one that's not necessarily supposed to make you cry, but it does make you cry that we'll talk about after the microphones are off.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry. It messed me up, okay? I'm not going to give you any text and any kind of context to it at all. I'll just say I went from being okay, I'm recovering. There was a really sincere moment that was really great and it hit me deep. And then all of a sudden there was another one. I was like, God damn it!
That was the moment that I predicted 2 years ago. If we're talking about the same thing.
No, it's a different moment than what we were talking about earlier.
I don't think I told you what I was talking about earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, we're going to be as vague as possible, okay? Because I do not want to spoil this for you guys. Like I said, what I will basically say is if we do a spoiler episode, it'll be, we're in May?
Yeah.
It'll be June. Like 1st of June, and that's even way more than what most people are giving you all. We'll go like first weekend of June, then we will spoil the crap out of this movie.
Yeah, I want to talk about Avengers because I love it.
Yeah. So.
Also, I had a really awful experience watching Avengers, not because of the movie, but because of the situation of the theater.
The people next to you?
Yeah, I've never had a bad experience in a movie theater before, and it was the guy specifically to my right, and it started as soon as the trailers started. So, like, the Star Wars trailer came on, and he was just like, stopped caring a year ago. And I was like, cool for you, man.
What?
Are you going to do this the whole time? And then every single major scene, he was just like, yeah, I remember that in the comics. Yeah. And he kept talking to the girl next to him. And I was just kind of like, can you just shut up? Like, Tyler and I sometimes talk during the movies, but this was like a movie we both, like, shut up. And when we did talk, it was so quiet. We're just like, and if Tyler was getting loud, I'd be like, shut up. Shut up. Like,
I'm telling you all right now, I'm either the person that you will love going to the movies with, or I'm the person that you'll hate going to the movies with. I shut up. I do not talk during the movie. I will not say a word. I don't want to hear you talk. I paid money to see what's on that screen. I didn't pay money to hear my... I was about to mess up right there. I didn't pay money to hear anybody else around me talk. Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
the other thing was, like, there was a lot of people talking, like, this is a 3-hour movie. If you do not have children that could sit during a 3-hour movie and be okay, they should not be here. Like, you should get a sitter, or if they are, like, if it's a surprise, like, your kid is having, like, a sudden temper tantrum that was completely unpredictable, walk out.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Like, it sucks. It really does, but that's part of being a parent.
We'll see, and that's something where a lot of parents that go to movies, especially here, I have not run into more irritations with parents going to, and this is as a parent that takes their children to movies and whatnot. I've not run into more things of like, can you take the Screaming Wonder out?
Yeah.
Take him out. Okay, because when we go to movies and whatnot, the moment my kids start making noise, it's my wife and I. We look at each other and we're like, you did it the last time. All right, I'm up and out.
Yeah.
All right, and we take them up. We take them fully out of the theater and then go like, okay, are they calmed down? Because most of the time, all we need to do is we need to pick up and we just need to hold them for a while. So we can stand up in like the actual like entrance way. We can just stand up with them and just rock them back and forth. And most of the time, kids are fine. They're not going to do a single thing. But there are times when they're just reacting. It's like, nope, I'm not. Like I said, I have the mentality where people paid money to have this experience on the screen, not to have my children's experience and whatnot. So that's why, like, when we went and saw Endgame last night, we didn't take our kids. It's a 3-hour movie. We're not doing that, especially on a Friday night. We will go see that movie on a Tuesday at 10 o'clock in the morning when no one is trying to go and see that movie other than other parents that realize, like, I need to do something with my child.
Yeah.
Let's go see a movie. Okay, that is prime time. Look, I'm telling all of you parents out over there, I realize it's a big pain in the butt, but it's the best time for you to be able to go. Just go. Early morning showings. It's matinee. It's perfect to be able to go and eat up a big chunk of your day and whatnot. Usually you can go, like, if you're crafty, you can get really good discounts on snacks. I didn't tell you that, but definitely just go and hit up the concessions and be like, look, you see how many children I have over here. You realize that the whole, like, hey, you get a large popcorn, you'll get an extra coming up over here. Guess who's going to be cashing in on that? So maybe do this, and then we'll be back next week and whatnot. I'm not saying that I haven't had full, like, combo meals for $2, but it's a thing that may have happened.
It's amazing.
Okay? So, yeah, it's a thing where if you do movie experiences right as a parent, you will never have one complaint.
Yeah.
Okay?
This was, like, seriously, every child in that theater was freaking out. And, like I said, like, it was to the point where I was like, I literally had to just block everything out around me and just focus on the movie. And there were a few moments when Tyler would lean to me and be like, make a joke, and I'd be like, I will tell you one of the jokes that made, like, me crack up that Tyler said during the movie. I won't say it here because it is kind of a spoiler. It's not a big one.
But still.
But he leaned to me and he made this joke, and I had to, like, because I was like, it was not an appropriate moment to laugh, and he was making me laugh, and I'm just like, shut up.
I think I might know the scene that you're talking about because Tiff literally leaned over to me and went, shut up.
Yeah.
And I went like, I didn't say anything.
No, it wasn't like a heartfelt moment, but it was like one of those moments, like, if I started laughing, people would be confused. Like,
I
there's
know.
no jokes happening.
There's a couple of key moments that are like that. There's also some other moments that, like, happen that your brain is already going like, oh my God, that's and then they say it and you're like, I knew it. I knew they were gonna make that joke and whatnot. So there's definitely those, but I think I don't know. It might be a thing, but yeah, there's a lot of appropriate jokes that I made in my head and possibly over to my wife during that movie. And then there's a lot of inappropriate ones that had no place inside that movie
I will say
that I definitely mentioned.
There was one moment with War Machine where I couldn't resist. I leaned to Tyler and I'm just like, this is Stefan. I was just like, why is this Stefan? And Tyler's like, it's totally Stefan.
There are multiple moments like that with War Machine that even Tiff leaned over to me and like, seemed like cracked brain much, and I'm like, shut up.
Yeah,
I did not come here for this.
I mean, there's a few where it's just kind of like, yeah, that's kind of like Stefan, but there was one moment in particular I'm like, this is Stefan. Like, did they, like, have him voice over this moment? Because this is just him.
I'm not saying anything.
The one thing I will say is the worst at the movie theater is I can handle, like, the plastic container noise. Like, I usually try to be respectful. I open everything up before and, like, have it all ready so I don't have to, like, go digging into stuff.
Yeah.
It's cell phones.
Yeah.
I've got no patience for you all.
Yeah, no cell phones at all, ever. Like,
they open it up. Like, I understand if you have, like, an emergency, like, you just a quick look.
No.
But if you're gonna have it out there for 5 to 10 minutes, it is blinding in the theater. It is disrespectful, and especially if they're, like, talking to it, or if it's like, why even go to the theater if you're going to disrupt like that, or, you know, not be able to enjoy it yourself.
No, I look, like I said, this goes back to you'll either love me in a theater or hate me in a theater. People that have gone to multiple movies with me realize that I am the one person that is not afraid to approach another person and tell them to stop doing whatever they're doing. So there have been many occasions where all of a sudden, you know, everyone's sitting there, you know, enjoying the movie, and then someone busts out their phone 3 rows down, and I'll sit there and be like, I'm giving you 2 minutes. I'm giving you 2 minutes, and you're glad you better be happy I'm even giving you that. 2 minutes is up, and Tiff will literally sit there and be like, she doesn't have a phone or anything. She'll just start leaning back, and I'll be like, excuse me. Get up, and I walk down. I'm like, hey, excuse me. I'm going to be as nice as I can about this. I paid X amount of money to be able to see this movie, not to see your text message for God whatever reason. If you have an emergency, I'm sorry that you're having the emergency. Maybe go and step outside real quick.
Or
We'll
enjoy
the rest of the movie.
the little lanes, like, on the side where there's, like, the emergency exit doors. Like, those are, you can't see a light coming from there.
Oh yeah, it's like I said. I'll talk to you. I'll be nice. Literally, much like Roadhouse, I'll be nice. People will be in my face. I'll be nice. And then there's a time where I'm no longer nice. And when I am no longer nice, it's a bad experience.
Yeah. Also, just because this happened to Tyler, if you guys are preparing to go to this movie, make sure, like, if you live with, like, a parent or something, make sure that they know that you're going to a movie. Because, after the credits were over, Tyler pulled out his phone and he had, like, 4 missed calls from his mom and a voicemail of her panicking because he went straight from work to the movies, and he works in a very dangerous neighborhood, and she was panicking. Like, she was just like, you didn't come home. I don't know where you are. Please call me. I want to make sure you're not dead. And so we called, and she was just like, you scared the crap out of me, Tyler. Like, do not do that. And I was like, I'm surprised you didn't tell your mom you were going to the movies. And he's like, I didn't think about it. So yeah, if you do live with a loved one and they don't know you're going to the movies, just send them a quick text at the beginning, like, hey, I'm in Avengers.
Yeah.
Like, it's a 3-hour movie. So.
This is a very good idea. This is a very good idea. So, okay. So like I said, I really don't want to spoil the movie. The biggest endorsement that I can give you guys is definitely go and see this movie.
It's amazing.
You may see it. You're probably going to see it a second time.
Yeah.
Tiff and I are already basically like, we're going to go see it again.
I definitely want to see it a second time because there's a lot of stuff that I feel like I missed and I want to see it again. So,
Yeah.
And I've been watching like every like analysis videos since I finished. Like I got home and I immediately pulled up YouTube and I'm like, I'm going to watch every fan theory video about this because this is great.
Coming from, I don't credit myself as a writer because I don't write a lot anymore, and I definitely don't write screenplays or anything like that. Well, now I am. But it's something where the amount of care that they took into not only writing this next chapter, but also bringing so many callbacks. There's callbacks that you guys are, like, if you haven't seen the movie, they're coming back to not only like Iron Man 1, Iron Man 3 has a callback.
Yeah.
Multiple callbacks.
Yeah.
Where you're sitting there like, okay, there's one thing in particular that Tiff literally leaned over to me like, this seems like, they seem familiar. And I'm like, Iron Man 3. And she went, oh my God. And I'm just like, there you go.
Yeah, there was a few callbacks to Doctor Strange as well.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't notice until I went back and watched an analysis video, and then I went back and watched Doctor Strange. It'll give you goosebumps.
Yeah.
Because they're things that might go over your head, and then you, like, it's a familiar line or something like that, and you'll hear it in, like, the previous movies, and you just be like,
well, there's literal lines from previous movies that you're going like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
Some of them are really obvious, and some of them will, like, kind of fly under the radar, but you'll remember it.
So this movie is perfect for, hey, remember what we've been doing this entire last decade and how fun it's been? This is the finality to it, but we're now going to go and start over to another chapter that there's some moments that I'm not going to spoil it for you or anything like that, but we need to talk.
We need to talk.
Okay, because
there was a moment where Tyler, like, when we were in the car, he's just like, I don't know what all these, like, whiny fanboys are talking about. That
I know exactly
shot
what you're talking about.
was so incredible. Like, I was like, that was the most badass thing I've ever seen.
Even Tiff, when she's like, that was a moment, and I'm all like, oh, you don't even know.
Yeah.
And even though you know, you don't even know.
You know, but you don't know.
Okay, and
you don't know that you don't know that you know.
There were many times where Tiff's like, I have feelings. I'm like, I have feelings, all right? There are multiple feelings, and I know that you have feelings. I have those same feelings. It's more appropriate that I have those feelings, but you having those feelings makes me happy.
Feelings.
Feelings.
Everything feels, like, natural, too. Like, all the callbacks and all the references, and it doesn't feel like they're just shoveling them in there for fan service. Everything feels like it was supposed to be that way.
Yeah. So,
like, they'd been planning this for, like, over a decade. Like, every movie leading up to this was just for this film.
Yeah. It's, like I said, we're not going to keep on going on vaguely about this because we realize that for a lot, like, for some of you guys that literally have not seen the movie, you're like, you guys aren't saying anything.
We're not saying it. We're just saying a bunch of nothing, but for those of you who have seen it, it's like, I know what you're talking about. Girl, let me talk.
Yeah.
Like,
so, all I will tell you is take May, see the movie, see the movie again, and then when we do our spoiler episode, like I said, odds are probably sometime in early June, come back to us, and we got you.
Yeah.
We got you. All right, because what you're feeling,
and you'll just be like, remember that spoiler scene where that spoiler happened and that spoiler person did that spoiler thing? And we'll be like, yeah, we know.
Yeah.
We were there.
So, there we go. All right. So, like I said, thank you guys for joining this episode of the Crack Brain Podcast. For all you audio listeners, definitely, you guys really should go and join on the live stream.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun having people interact over in chat. Like I said, we've been trying to go and reference chat as much as possible. Don't forget that we, in addition to just having the live stream, they do hit our YouTube channel, so definitely check it out there. It's another big way that you guys can help us out because YouTube is one of the next platforms that's going to kind of be a big thing for us. It's not the only thing. There's a gnat in here. It's pissing me off. It's not
That's
the
my
only
familiar.
thing. Right. But I hate your familiar. All right. But it is something where it does mean quite a bit over to us. So definitely go and check back with us next Saturday, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. For all you guys that are wondering, we do also have, like, usually we try to get over here 5:30 to be able to do the pre-episode segment.
Yeah.
That's a part that is only really for YouTube. It's not for the audio and whatnot. So usually the beginning and after, that's only YouTube stuff. So
Yeah.
join us for that part, and we'll have more things for you. So outside of that, we will talk to you guys later.
Yeah, thank you for having me on finally. So.
It's
Yeah.
you have the open invitation. You just need to literally say, Stefan, I want to be on the podcast.
Oh, last time you got sick.
Not wrong.
Yeah, so
Actually, Brandon got everybody sick.
yeah.
It was a string of like, I got sick, then Brenda got sick, then I got sick again, and then now we're
Yeah,
back.
no, I didn't mean that as like hostile. I meant that like genuinely. I mean, you for
No,
having me.
I
But
had
you
it.
hostile.
It was so...
I'm trying not to be. It just that's my face.
Candace coming in clutch with the end. With the name of the episode, it's just my face. Oh, God. I love you guys.
That was
Outside of that, like I said, we love y'all so much, okay? If you have more things, like I said, check back with us. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Definitely make sure you're here for the next podcast, and we will be back with y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.
And there's a